Now, the first sexual mistake you shouldn't make with your woman is make her addicted to sex. My kings, of course, I know that when you're looking to settle down with a woman or looking at something long term with a woman, you're definitely looking for a good woman who understands the value of relationships, understands the value of building a home, someone who is homely and nice. And because this is the type of woman you're looking for, she would most times, be very green to these sexual experiences. She might not be as advanced as the street girls or these, bad girls all around the place because she's more reserved. She is a good woman, so of course she would not be so advanced when it comes to things that have to do with sex. And now what happens is when you train her to be addicted to this thing, it might get to a point where she would end up either cheating on you or finding other means to satisfy herself. And why is that? Because you've trained her up in that way. And just as the good book says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. And that is exactly what will happen when you train your woman to be so addicted to sex, because now you've introduced her to this thing, and we all know how very addictive sex can be. You've placed her so high above, giving her such experiences back to back. And I'm not saying you should not have a good time with your woman. I am not saying you should not satisfy her. The goal is to satisfy her, but do not make it a point where you indulge in these sexual marathons and you both go time and time and time again. And mind you, when you are new in the relationship, it is actually good for you because at that time, the both of you have the zero. You are just, fresh and you want to hit it anytime, anywhere. But as time goes on, that thing is going to reduce. That zero is going to reduce. So what happens when you don't feel like it anymore and you've already trained her to be so addicted to this thing, you can only imagine. Or let's say, for example, now you travel, or for some reason you are not in the house for a long period of time because you've made her so addicted to it. Now she's going to look for ways and means to satisfy herself, and it can lead her to cheating, getting someone else, masturbating, anything at all that she can do to just satisfy herself because you have trained her that way. And that is why you shouldn't make this mistake of training your woman, especially if you know you want something long term with her. You know you're trying to build a home, and especially if you find out that she is green to this experience, because of course you are getting to know her, you want to make her your wife, you're definitely going to try things with her. And the moment you start trying and see that she's very green, please make sure you keep it at a particular pace. Don't make it something that is so advanced that she becomes addicted to it, and at the end of the day, it will end up hurting the both of you and maybe even your kids. So my kings, the first mistake I am sharing with you today that you should never make sexually with your woman, a woman you want to do life with. Please, my kings, do not make this terrible mistake of making her addicted to sex. Another sexual mistake you shouldn't make with your woman, my kings, is to introduce her or indulge in weird sexual activities with her. My kings, again, this is a woman you want to do life with. Mind you, you are trying to make a wife out of her and not an adult film star, unless that is your goal. If that is not your goal, then you shouldn't be indulging or introducing her to weird sexual activities. And what do I mean by weird sexual activities? Like threesomes, or maybe this one they are calling swinging, where partners exchange partners, like two couples come and they exchange each other's partners. I don't even know how this thing makes sense to these people, but they do it. It's something is happening. And here is the truth of the matter. These things never end well. When you introduce your woman to these weird things and she starts getting used to them, there are high chances you are going to lose in the end. Not only are you going to lose, you would also end up getting hurt. I've seen many situations where it has happened. I've even seen a friend who introduced his wife to a next door neighbor, not knowing the woman is a lesbian, and she ended up snatching his wife from him. Just get introduced like, this is my wife, I want you to meet her. And that's it. And because the woman has like a very curvy body, the next thing, this woman started approaching her, showing her reasons, giving her reasons. And mind you, a woman knows her way around another woman's body. Because a woman understands her own body and knows what can pleasure her, getting another woman is very easy. It is very easy for a woman to get a woman. So when you introduce your woman to this threesome, thinking, oh, it's nothing, Abi, we are all just having fun, before you know it, there are high chances that if the other person you've introduced her to is also like that, like she likes to hate women, before you know it, she will snatch your wife away from you right in your face, and there is nothing you can do about it. Not to talk about this whole swinging situation, which will never make sense to me. So my kings, do not make this mistake. And mind you, this is a woman you want to do life with, and because you respected her enough to choose her as your life partner, you should also respect her enough to not introduce her to these weird sexual activities, my kings. Now, another sexual mistake you shouldn't make with your woman is leaving her unsatisfied. My kings, never leave your woman unsatisfied. Just make sure that every time you get with your woman, she would be satisfied. And that is why I mentioned in the first point that you shouldn't make her addicted to sex, because when you do that, now nothing you do might satisfy her. But if you always get her and make sure you get her satisfied every time you both meet, then she would always be happy. Because remember, she's a good woman who is probably green to all the sexual activities and would just take whatever you give her. And I'm not saying you should go, leaving your woman unsatisfied. That is actually why I'm saying the sexual mistake you shouldn't make is leaving her unsatisfied. Because when you do that, because she is green to the experience, someone else might get the chance to come and introduce her to the act of being satisfied. Now, let's say you've always been doing it with her and you never satisfy her. Now, she doesn't know what satisfaction is, so for that time, she might be okay with it. But mind you, she might go out, meet people, talk to people, watch videos, see things that will make her know, oh, there is something called satisfaction that I actually have to feel. And now, because you didn't introduce her to that yourself, if someone else introduces her to that, she is going to start being addicted to that person, which is why you should make sure that every time you meet your woman, you meet her and satisfy her. Again, I am not saying you should go going multiple rounds with her, because if you train her in that way, like I mentioned in the first point, where let's say every time you meet her, you go like 4, and each of the 4, you always make sure she's satisfied. Now she's going to be used to that. So when you raise the bar high up that way and you suddenly bring it down, now she's going to start feeling unsatisfied because she's used to getting 4, and now let's say you drop to 2 or 1, and that is not going to end well. That is why you should make sure you regulate the amount of time you do it with her, but make sure that every time you meet her, she is satisfied and you are also satisfied. Don't make it all about yourself. Make sure it goes both ways. Another sexual mistake you shouldn't make with your woman is force her to do things she doesn't like. My kings, if your woman tells you she doesn't like something that you do to her, or she doesn't like doing a particular thing to you or with you, please, my kings, do not force her to do it. Because what will happen is when you force her to do these things that she doesn't like, she's going to gradually begin to hate you. She will develop hatred in her heart towards you. And that is just the natural reaction you will get for forcing her to do things she doesn't like with you sexually. And just imagine you want to do life with this woman. You want her as your wife for the rest of your life. And then you go forcing her to do things that doesn't sit well with her. Let's say, for example, she doesn't like anal, or she doesn't like oral, anything at all that she tells you that doesn't sit well with her, and you go ahead to force her to do those things. Like, take for example the anal, and you force her and do anal with her, or you force her and do oral with her. Now she's going to hate you gradually, and the truth of the matter is she might not even know that she's growing that hatred towards you. It will be something that will just gradually start creeping in. And just imagine how your home is going to be when you have a woman who hates you low-key. It's like anytime you want to come meet her, anytime you want to come spend a sexual moment with her, she's already pissed, she's already angry. Everything you do will no longer be enjoyable to her, because already she's like, he's here again to do what he likes doing. He doesn't even pay attention to me. So she's going to be enduring you instead of enjoying you. And that's not what you want in your home, my kings. So make sure not to force your woman to do things she doesn't like doing in bed. So that's it for this video, my kings. Please do let me know if you found this video interesting and informative as well. Do well to subscribe if you haven't done that already. Turn on the notification bell, like this video, Drop a comment down below, share this video with your family and friends, and see you in the next one. Bye.